Hey guys, quick video to show you how I made this Nuero kind of bass growl that I used in my song The Belle of the Steel City. So you kind of could hear it right there, right? And so I'm going to show you generally how I made that. And I'm going to do it using just Ableton plugins. Now, really the concepts that I will show you can really use with any VST, any DAW, anything. So it's not strictly Ableton, but I think it's kind of fun when you restrict yourself to just one. So let's get down to it, and I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible. So I'm going to take operator, I'm just going to drop it on here, nothing special, keep it as a sine wave, and I'm going to drop down an F on here, and I'm actually going to bring this down to an F0 so it's really subby, right? And what I did also is I dropped this MIDI channel down 15, negative 15, to give me a little bit of headroom, otherwise it's going to be very loud. So here's what it sounds like. Wow, you can probably barely hear it. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this glue compressor, turn on soft clipping, and up the makeup gain. And what I want to see is I want to see this limiting. So now you see that. Now you can kind of hear those overtones, right? That are being caused by the limiting. Okay? And from here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to freeze. Or you could also resample. I'm going to freeze in this case. And now I got this fat sine wave, right? Pretty basic looking sine wave. Now, on to the next part. I'm going to take another glue compressor, drop it again. I'm going to limit this guy. Listen to that, it's a lot fatter, right? The whole concept here is that we're just limiting more and more, and it's creating these overtones. But I'm going to add a little bit more of this. I'm going to take the amp, I'm going to drop it on here. Make sure you have it in dual mode, so it's stereo, but you could have it mono if you want it mono. And then I'm going to play around with this. I like boost and blues. I'm gonna stick with blues because it has that kind of subtlety that I like. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take an EQ8, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just write some automation curves into here. Oh, it is not grabbing me. And you could do this with an auto filter. I guess the only difference with an auto filter is sometimes there's some phasing. It's a lot. The peaks are harder to control, or the whatchamacallit. I just brain farted. I mean, you could do this with anything you want, really. And just play it really. I'm not doing anything other. Actually, I kind of wanted to start up. And moving around the signal chain kind of changes it. This is a very quick one, so quick in that it plays very quick. And I'm going to freeze this. I'm going to resample it again or flatten it again, and now I have this. And you can see some of these are turned into square waves a little bit, right? Which is interesting, but then you start to see these jagged peaks that get added into our sine wave. And I'm going to take, so it's the third step, take glue compressor again, add it, soft clipper on, and whoops, let's do the same thing we did before. Let's do it with the auto filter this time, because I said why not use the auto filter, right? Let's here. Let's take in overdrive and let's automate some of the overdrive, right? Some of all right, and just grabbing my cat and putting him back down on the ground. Not up here, bud. Cool. Bye, cat. All right. So it's coming a little bit into shape, right? I'm just playing around with this signal chain. See what I like the best. Kind of like that. From there, we're going to flatten it again. This is really complicated, right? And we're going to add another glue compressor. And I'm not playing from the beginning. Alright, and this time around, just to give it an extra level of filtering, I'm actually going to high pass it. Alright, and so let's play with that. I want the frequency. I'm going to add the amp again. And then I'm going to add, let's try the overdrive again. And all this is me just experimenting. And this is a really short clip, so it doesn't sound as good as it probably could do in a long kind of string, the way I'm doing it. This is probably... And let me play with the overdrive here. Just grab this overdrive frequency. Filter frequency. And see, you can kind of play. And then from there, I would freeze it again. And essentially you're just resampling over and over again this. And then you're re-limiting it hard. And then you're adding texture to it. So I basically have just a very kind of simple Nuero Growl that you can use. And you can go as many steps as you want, go as many times through as you want. This kind of adding the limiter, putting on some overdrive or some distortion, and freezing and resampling. You can do it as many times as you want. And then you can get really creative with it. Like, then I'll then take this and put this in a sampler, right? And really, well, I won't show you now because I don't have much time, but really mess around with it, right? And you can get some cool stuff. Like, you add a chorus on this. It sounds pretty cool with the chorus. Gives it that phasiness, right? And even with the beginning, when you're using operating the first, if you choose a different waveform, you know, at the end of the day, when you can do this, you will get a different sound. So there's a lot of possibilities here, and it's really fun to mess around with. So hopefully, you know, this helps people who are wondering, and hopefully, you take advantage of this. And I look forward to hearing what you come up with. So thanks for listening. Went a little longer than I thought it would because I got a little scatterbrained there, but hopefully you learned something. Thanks.